God raises up people to be a voice. And one of the things that's so prevalent in this day and age, people are speaking out and basically trying to change things round and tell us that wrong is right and right is wrong, that Christians haven't got a place to stand. And so I want to spend some time this morning just waking you up. But just in case you're a stranger here, I believe in family. And I want to make it quite plain. Family is husband, wife, and children. There is no family outside of God's way. Is that plain? Yes. I want to make it plain. Today, we have a story where in Scotland, you're not allowed, it's a disciplinary offence to turn around and say that when in a children's ward, mummy and daddy have come, you've got to say your parent or your guardian. It's a disciplinary offence to use mummy or daddy for the staff, in case they offend the sensibilities of a 0.3%. Hey, a husband's a husband, a wife is a wife, mum and dad are mum and dad, and there is a whole routine going on, and I just want to point it out to you. We had a meeting yesterday, and I was quite plain about it, but there's something I want to point out to you. Most people in this country are unaware of. In 1971, a bunch of animals who wanted to pervert the truth set themselves to change society. And they set themselves to change society, and the way they were going to change it was quite simple. They were going to destroy the idea of family unit. 1971. And what they set themselves to do was to destroy what God set up. And I just want to read it out to you if I can put my eye on it. Yeah, this was a gay, and I want you to understand this. If you're one of these people, crackpots, who believe you're so spiritual, politics should not be involved in Christianity, stop living, clear off, you're a lunatic. Because what affects our lives, we fight for, don't we? You wouldn't have a Bible translated today if someone hadn't shed their blood. You wouldn't have the freedoms you have today in this country if someone hadn't laid down their life. And here are people laying down their life. And let me read a declaration that was made in 1971 by the Gay Liberation Front. It was their manifesto. And this is what they've been working to do. They say, the oppression of gay people starts in the most basic unit of society, the family, consisting of the man in charge, a slave as his wife, and their children on whom they force themselves as the ideal models. The very form of the family works against homosexuality. Now this is in their statement. They said it, not me. They go on. The long-term goal of the London Gay Liberation Front, which inevitably brings us into fundamental conflict with the institutionalized sexism of this society, is to rid society of the gender role system which is at the root of our oppression. This can only be achieved by the abolition of the family as a unit in which children are brought up. Now that is their avowed intent. Wake up, Christians. There's nothing about supplying goods and services. They are out to destroy the family. They want it wiped off the face of the earth. To achieve our long-term goal will take many years, perhaps decades. We do not intend to ask for anything. We intend to stand firm and assert our basic rights. Well, hey, I want to ask you this. Have we a basic right to believe in God's principles? Husband, wife, and children? They're saying we're going to destroy the family. So what they're doing, Stonewall set the behavioural standards of the NHS in Scotland, and they said, right, from now on, no mother and father, they're partners. Can't call someone a husband, can't call someone a wife. Someone in Basildon Hospital was told she wasn't allowed to call her husband had to call her my partner. They want to take away the role of husband and wife. And I'm glad we're having dedications. Hey, I believe in family. I believe it's God's way. And I am for it 100%. I don't believe a child can be brought up decently in same-sex couple home. They won't learn the role of the husband, the wife. They won't learn the male and female roles. But they're working to destroy what we hold dear. Now, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit back and say, oh, well, I'll go and pray about it? That will do no good. If you're one of these so-called intercessors, get off your backside, open your mouth, and stand up for what's true. Is that plain? I'm sick to death of charismatics and rheumatics and Pentecostals who think if they go and shout at a brick wall in tongues and pretend they're fighting the devil, which is absolute absurdity, that somehow God's going to do something. You are a jackass of the first order. The only way it's going to happen is when we preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's by preaching men are saved, by the foolishness of preaching, not by prayer. And it's time the church woke up and got mobilized. God gave us the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And he didn't give us prayer as a weapon. Prayer is not a weapon. Prayer is communion with the living God. You should pray always. In everything give thanks. That's what prayer is for. Relationship and communion with God. What we're called to do is to preach, to teach, to heal. We're not called to sit back now, there are a number of people who said, oh, thank God, Bishop. They've written it to me. Thank God, Bishop. You're out there. Thank God for you. You're a voice. We're praying for you. I don't need your prayers. Get off your backside and do something. Stand up like a man. We've got to fight. They're fighting. And in 1971, they chose what they were going to do. And hey, they're beginning to succeed. And I'll tell you the way you turn back a flood. You stand in front of it and you say no more.